Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys back in today's video with another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. And today we are looking at C-3PO with the B1 Battle Droid body, Jesus, and Super Battle Droid. Yeah, you can tell by my excitement in saying both of those figures which one I'm looking more forward to. These, of course, are based on Attack of the Clones. Side art. When C-3PO gets his head lopped off in a separatist droid factory, it's replaced with a battle droids, leading to confusion in the Colosseum during the Battle of Geonosis. Oh, that's it? Cool. Nothing on my boy, the Super Battle Droid? Come on now. This is slander. Alright, without further ado, let's open this up. I'm sorry, guys. I am a shill. Yeah, I got two of these, and it should be apparent why. I really love the Super Battle Droid. I wanted to get as many as I could. Unfortunately, this 2-pack is around 50 bucks, and so it didn't leave me with much options for army building. I mean, like, I only have so much disposable income, so I ended up getting two of them. I'm going to have to find a way to get rid of one of these C-3POs. I'm sorry, guys. I know. I'm part of the problem. As long as people like me keep buying awful 2-packs like this, Hasbro will continue their hostage situation, if you can want to call it that. Because as of late, they've been really pushing figures that people really want, along with figures that nobody wants. Like, they're like hostage 2-packs. Those VHS Spider-Man Marvel Legends figures are a perfect example of that. A lot of people wanted that animated Doc Ock, but a lot of people wanted a new animated Green Goblin, but they came packed with like civilian figures, and like people were just like, I don't want this. And that's sadly the case for C-3PO here. Yeah, I think I'll look at him first because, oh boy, there's a lot to say about this figure. Yeah, let's get this version in. This is the original Attack of the Clones B1 Battle Droid that came out all those years ago in that amazing Attack of the Clones wave. Yeah, this is truly amazing. You know, I love the paint apps here. And if you compare these two, oh, yikes. Yeah, you can see that the newer one has a lot, it's like a muddier paint app going all across the figure, whereas the old one was more like battle damage from like explosions or smoke. You can see a lot of that paint chipped off on the original, and the new one also has that, but very sparingly. It's mostly covered in that darker brown paint, but the red plastics do match up a bit. This one, however, just has like a tiny metallic sheen to it, whereas this one is more plasticky. And yeah, continuing up, you could see like more differences in the paint apps, and especially like right here, that's missing like those two little gunmetal silver paint apps on the, I don't even know what that's called. It was kind of like an old telephone. It's missing paint apps on the old telephone piece, I guess. But continuing up, and man, the chest is just covered in that dark brown paint, whereas the older one had more of that, like I said, like from explosion, like battle damage, whereas this one just looks kind of like dirty, has oil on it. Of course, the biggest difference in the head is, well, the head. Yeah, so they swapped out the original droid head for a C-3PO head. And it got me to thinking, is this head reused? Did they just reuse everything when it came to this figure? You can probably see him off to the side already. Yeah, oh my god, the height difference between these two. Here is a New Hope Archive line C-3PO, and you can tell the head on the Archive is just a tiny bit bigger. And so it got me to even more thinking. I had to bring out the Empire Strikes Back C-3PO. This one had digital face printing. Beautiful figure. Oh my god, this one looks amazing. But like comparing the two head sculpts, and again, I don't think it's reused from this. Like, this one looks a lot smaller than both of these. So yeah, even like the side view, you can tell like this is a new head sculpt right here. I'm relieved that Hasbro weren't entirely lazy and decide to just say F it, put it in the archive line head sculpt. They made a brand new one. Whew. All right, I'm gonna try to hold on to my opinions until the very end. Um, but yeah, I mean, going over accessories. Yeah, let's just go over accessories real quick. First, he comes with this blaster. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. I'll probably show it on the screen right now. But yeah, it looks very wonderful. And the gunmetal that they use, oh my god, this looks so good. It's so shiny. It's a lot more shinier than the previous version. I think this one looks a little bit more realistic, but I just like the metallic sheen of this. That looks great. And he also comes with this interchangeable backpack that you could just take off. And these two antennas are able to poke down right there. And then you can plug it back in and you can have them down or you can have them up. And the gun itself is able to plug into the side right here or not. Like that. Cool. All right, get the hell out of here. Let's go over the real star of this 2-pack here, the Super Battle Droid. This is a figure that us Star Wars The Black Series collectors have been asking for the longest time. Like ever since I could remember, people have been asking for the Super Battle Droid, and man, Hasbro finally delivered, and this could quite possibly be a figure of the year contender. And that's just like judging it from the sculpt alone, because my god, this thing is just a dream to stand up, to pose around. Let's first take a look at that sculpt and those paint apps. Now, I really think that they caked in that that mud effect or dirt effect way too hard. I think it just looks a little too cartoony, kind of like a credit collection figure at this point. Yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous. And if they were trying to replicate the sands of Geonosis, I would have liked it to be a bit darker, as the sand there is, pretty much red. It's a cool effect nonetheless. I do appreciate it. It goes all throughout the entire figure. But yeah, that sculpt. And man, I was like really, really worried that this figure would have a hard time standing up. However, he stands up perfectly and he is able to keep standing up, unlike the B1 Battle Droid who falls over at any given turn at the slightest gust of wind. This guy, he's sturdy. None of that manages to take away from the sculpt, which is still just amazing, man. I'm at a loss for words. Love the slender legs, that little ratchet joint going underneath, and right up here, that chest piece, too, looking like, wow, look how many lines are in there. The sculpting is insane, and it continues even on the back, all that small stuff, and like it continues going up until it meets the chest piece. Like, as you can see, like if you bend it backwards, like you could see even more of that sculpting underneath, and even the paint apps sort of go up into that joint. That's just beautiful. And then the chest itself, the head, man. If I had one more thing to complain about, is that they kind of caked on that blue paint up here a little too hard. I'm not sure if it's actually like that in the movie, but I don't know. Maybe I just watched way too much Clone Wars. I got used to like the whole body being a certain color because I'm just not used to that. It looks a little weird. But yeah, they even have some more of that mud effect on that face sculpt. And then continuing down onto the arms. Yeah, just absolutely love these. And there's that, not that wrist rocket, just a blaster, a wrist mounted blaster. And even more paint detail on that sculpt, that fin that's pointing out. Ooh, even on the back. And there's even like a blaster mark on the back. That is just insanely cool. Love that. And ooh, even a little red dot right there. Yeah. And then continuing down, like, man, even more detail. Oh, I would have loved if these were articulated, but they're not. Which is fine because, yeah, the sculpt here is absolutely next level. For accessories for the Super Battle Droid, he doesn't come with any per se. However, there is this cool feature where you're able to pop the head off like so. Just be a little careful you don't break that. And you can pop off this lower chest piece as well, which reveals the circuitry underneath. I absolutely love this so much. This is a callback to Republic Commando, the video game. The super battle droids in that game were infamous for being hard to kill, like a lot harder than it was shown in the movies or in the Clone Wars. Yeah, these guys were just a nightmare to face. And if they took enough damage, like their front plates would pop off and it would show this. I think this is just a wonderful, wonderful inclusion. You know, it's so immersive and it lends this figure to be able to pose with more action figures. You know, you could put this alone in a Republic Commando display, just with the face plating off. Yeah, it just looks amazing. But in case that's not really your fancy, there is, oh my god, there's even more sculpting on the plate underneath. Wow, that is truly, truly remarkable. I, good job, Hasbro. You got one half of this box set right. Yeah, just so much sculpted detail down there. You can see some mesh and this little circuitry bit right there. Yeah, you can see these two pegs sticking out on the side. Those go into these square holes right here. You're going to want to put this piece on first, as it is much easier to put on before the head. And yeah, oops, blooper. Here is the head going on, and you kind of have to like find the right place to put it in. Ooh, like that. And yeah, you're good to go again. Going over articulation for C-3PO, the head is able to move back this much and move down a really good amount. He's able to move side to side, and he has a slight pivot right there. His arm is able to move this far up and go all the way around, and he has upper bicep swivel, a single jointed elbow which is able to bend this far in and then this far out. Yeah, and he has upper wrist rotation and then standard wrist peg going up, down, all the way around. Got it backwards again. I'll get it someday. This is a mess. I'm not going to do another take though. I am what people call a professional at toy reviews. He goes this far back and this far forward, and he has a bit of pivot right there at the diaphragm and is kind of able to move side to side, a little bit inhibited by the telephones. His leg is pretty much able to go all the way around, and it has a bit of pivot right there. And he has a single jointed knee, which is able to bend all the way in and is able to kick out a tiny bit. He has ankle rotation, and his foot is able to move this far down, this far up, and he has the P1 battle droid has no articulation in the head. I mean, it's a given though. His arm is able to move this far out, and it does have a butterfly shoulder joint, so it is able to move this far back and this far forward, and it does have rotation up there. He also has 2 points of rotation at the elbow, one on the upper side and then one on the lower side, and that elbow is also able to bend this far in and this far out. And then for his wrist, he has a standard going down this far and then going up this much, and it also is able to rotate. Just be a little careful because this little flap sticks out. Yeah, continued movement might break it. Ooh, and this is how he looks like with the blaster pointing out. He's able to bend this far back and this far forward. For his legs, they're able to go all the way around, and he has some pivot at the ball joint right there. He also has upper thigh rotation. However, it's not really able to turn in all the way because of the fin right there. His leg is able to bend this far in and a tiny bit out. His foot is able to move this far down, this far up, and he has some... All right, on to the size comparisons. Here is C-3PO next to a standard B1 battle droid and the Battle of Geonosis B1 battle droid. Here he is next to himself from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Here he is next to a Phase 1 clone trooper using the old mold on the left and the Phase 1 clone lieutenant on the right using the brand new clone mold. And then for the Phase 2, same thing. Here is the 332nd, the old version and the new version. Here he is next to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, Count Dooku and the gaming greats Jango Fett, Padme Amidala and R2-D2, Morbius and Commander Gary. For the Super Battle Droid, here he is next to a standard B1 Battle Droid and the Geonosis B1 Battle Droid, Old Phase 1 and New Phase 1, Old Phase 2 and New Phase 2, R2-D2 and C-3PO, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, Count Dooku and Jango Fett, Padme Amidala and a clone Commando, Morbius and Gary the Stormtrooper. Here are the two figures from this 2-pack next to each other, and here they are next to the Marvel Legends Spider-Hams. Alright, time for my final rating, my overall thoughts. I'm going to go over the Super Battle Droid first because I have a lot to say about the B1. I'm going to give the Super here a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I think he deserves a 9 out of 10. Of course, I'm just not that big on the paint apps. I think the blue on top of the head and just how vibrant the mud color is all across the figure, it's a little too much for me. However, I know that I'll probably get used to it over time. Absolutely love the attention to detail in the sculpt. And, despite it not having accessories, that little play feature of the chest piece and the head coming off is absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love that. And yeah, the articulation is great. And the sculpt itself does not sacrifice its ability to stand up straight or go into poses. It is pretty sturdy, and I absolutely love to see that. Yeah, 9 out of 10. C-3PO on the B1 Battle Droid body, however, I think I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. And that is probably one of the lowest scores I've given an action figure on this channel. But I just can't get myself to like it. Of course, it is very cool to have like this moment for the display. I think it just came at a cost though of this 2-pack just truly being great. If this had come with an alternate head, like many others have already said before me, but I'll say it again. If this 2-pack came with an alternate head for the B1 Battle Droid, it would have sold out. Like it would have been a bestseller. A lot of people love this look, the Geonosis look, and part of it is from Attack of the Clones, but I think most of it comes from that Genndy Tartakovsky 2000s Clone Wars show. Yeah, they are always sporting this look in that. And man, it was just such a missed opportunity to do that. And man, I don't know. It kind of sucks. I try staying as positive as I possibly can on this channel because I think there's just enough negativity out there. I want everyone coming here to experience some positivity. But this is just bad. Like it is just really, really bad. And again, I'm a part of the problem because I bought 2 of these packs because I just love the Super Battle Droid so much. And of course, I would have wanted to get this figure as well, but man, it just sucks that in the other one, it's just going to be fodder for a lot in the future that I sell. Despite all of that, this figure still is just mid. Like the paint apps aren't as good as the first release. It just looks amateur. It just looks like someone got like some water paint and just like brushed up on it and called it a day. And I think the green up here on the head sculpt, I didn't get to that, but the green, they caked it on way too much. I get he's supposed to be like all rusty and old and like abandoned looking, but dude, it's just too much. 4 out of 10. Roger, Roger.